All right, so here we are after I did another set of another blast through there at 1500 and got all the little goobers out. So this is looking really good. Those are wet spots, so that's no big deal. But as long as it's a uniform, just kind of hazy kind of look to it, you're going to be pretty good. There's a little tiny one in there, but I mean the buffing wheel does get in that stuff. Um, so this one's looking really good. I was gonna put the camera back on the stand a little bit. Took a little bit of work there, not too much, but that's looking smooth. Spots that have had haze are through here, so we want to make sure we hit those. Well, these edges look pretty good. I didn't dry it completely because I'm just gonna, keep wet sanding, but I did run it through the another wet sand, and then I did these edges I wanted to show you when I do the 25 because there was a little bit of technique there. I'm feeling that, and that looks that is a piece of white in the paint. It's not a blem or anything. So when you can feel it with your hands, but there's a little bit of a technique for the edge sanding that I'll show you on this one at 25. So the 2500 grit goes quite a bit faster than 15 because it's pretty much almost done. I do not hold myself out to be an expert at this stuff. This is what I've figured out over the years of doing this stuff. I actually didn't even watch many videos on this stuff. This was kind of just the school of hard knocks, so to speak. But like when I sand like this, some guys I've heard put some can't think of the word, the soap, soft soap, liquid soap on there, because it does have, this is pulling a bit hard on my hand, but it's not, I've never found the need to do this soap. It just makes more of a mess when you clean it. But like, and just kind of doing this light sand, and I feel the block is like grabbing the whole way, which is going to give it just a really, really smooth shine. So you can see all the kind of goop that just came off, and if you feel 2500, that feels about like your Formica kind of feel. It's not a lot of grit, and I just kind of hit these pieces here, these corners here. You want to make sure you do sand in there, like over here, so that it gets you a nice shine when you're done. So I'm being careful. I'm in the final stretch of this one, so I don't want to sand through. I mentioned that in the last video. Pretty much this body, I did that very thing. There's one little tiny black patch on this guy somewhere that if the customer looks at this one, he's gonna say, oh man, now I'm gonna look for it. But what, why bring it to someone's attention, right? I'm not doing it to be mean or anything, but why have a blem if you're not even gonna notice it? It is swirl paint, so I mean, what's to say what the original was and what is not? So it's about what I'm doing on the front. So the 2500 is final stretch. Here's my little half-baked left-handed sanding maneuver. The one thing I should have checked on this one before I got this far was whether this clear that got on the inside of the net pocket was enough to impede fitting a neck in there. So sometimes it builds up a bit, and the neck pocket gets changed. So I'm going to do a quick wash of this, and I'll show you what I'm doing on the edges after that. So usually I do the back first, but just to keep the length of this video down, just fold the paper. I'm going in the middle, right? I'm working my way out from the middle the whole time. with the idea. If you start at the edge, you're gonna roll over that edge. You're gonna sand through the clear, and then you're gonna have to put another coat on. Done it. I've done it. I've done it. So at the end, this is we just want to kind of not make a mistake. You're in the game. You know, we're gonna finish this guy off. We're gonna buff it. The customer's gonna be happy. I should have looked at my notes. I can't remember the guy's first name right now. I could have made this more personal, but you can see even at 2,500, we're getting that little bit of white goopy stuff. So that's just sanding off. I usually flip the body around both ways. This one's gonna just buff out super smooth, I can tell. So another thing I do, I'm using this kind of the edge of the paper. I'll cut off a little bit of the edge because I just kind of used up, you know, most of the grit that was on the edge, and I can just feel it. That's a little bit more grit than I had before. So you want to be careful around the jack hole, we call it. This is that Steve Vai angled jack that is actually the way to go if you're going to have your a guitar. I'm not sure why everyone doesn't do the jack like that. The Strat has the angle on the front, but those ones that stick out the side, it's like just a pain. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sand around the outside. I'm gonna sand the back. I'm gonna wash it and dry it, and then I'll show you guys how I do the buff after that. So I guess it'll be a 3-part video on this one. All right.